First of all, let me salute each one of you over here. In this room and the room sitting, I believe there are 150 odd our colleagues sitting in the next room. Thank you all. Thank you all for inviting us, because you are the Ogtc team. Each one of you are experienced in your own way. There is nothing which we can come and really teach you. We are only going to share something. I'm going to share some of the experiences we've had. And this is a true story. Profit and profitability in our trade. Irrespective it is garments, apparels, steel, bicycles, alcohol, liquor. The two words which are synonymous, profit and profitability. Profit means a financial gain, and profitability means the ability to continue with the financial gain. It's very simple. After paying off your expenses for your business operations. So I will share with you some of my learnings, some of my unlearnings, and some of my relearnings in turning around various organizations. I had the opportunity with working with many turnaround companies, and I always jumped into them. I would not be naming organizations of the turnaround, but you will see the presentation as it unfolds, because the focus is more on how did we turn around an organization which was highly challenged in your industry, which is the apparel industry. But before I get into that, at the end, I will share with you for the first time, and this is to all the owners and managing directors and CFOs, a dashboard to help you build towards profitability, which is what we utilized in turning around an organization, not only for a company A, but that has been a practice over the last 45 years I've been in the professional world. Kept on building a dashboard that what do you go back to? Which is the mirror you go back and say, yes, this is happening. At the end, I will share the dashboard with you. This is not consultative in nature. This is an actual reality, results which came, and as you see, these figures are printed in the stock market. The first of all is very important to understand is that the results you are seeking can only be an aspiration if you don't execute it. We all want results. But how much really you want to execute it is the more important issue. Execution is the key word. You'll have to be a little faster so that I can synchronize with you. This is unusual. You are seeing film stars over here. So what is common between Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, Deepika, and Kareena? What is common? What has the apparel trade got to do with this? So let's see. They all have raving fans behind them. There are many actors. But why are these four popular? Because they have raving fans. Can you, or your division, or the department you look after, put that photograph over here and say you have raving fans? Who are your raving fans? Your customers, your employees. Can you replace this? And if we can't, that is where we really need to go and say, how do we have our raving fans? So I was asked a question recently, what is the CEO? And I asked through this question back to people and saying, what is the CEO? And 99% told me it's the Chief Executive Officer. And I said, that's the most rubbish definition I've heard of a CEO. C stands for customers, E stands for employees, and O stands for the organization. This is what a CEO is. He's got to balance all the three. The customer, the employee, and the organization. And if that is what it is, this is where you becomes, because if you have them, if you have a raving fan, you become the best in world, service your customers and employees, that they fall in love with your product or your services, and you become BIW, which is best in world. Very simply said, but it's a measurable thing to be done. There is nothing which I'm going to tell you don't know. I may be polishing it. A gold only melts when it is on fire. A diamond only shines when it is polished under friction. Yes, Anil. So what destroys a business? A key question to each one of you. Not your strengths, but the weaknesses of an organization. And we all talk about, oh, our delivery is 95%. I have a passing rate in inspection of 86%. Look at the language we are speaking. We are nobody saying in the organization, we are late by 5% in our deliveries and our quality is 12% not passing first time. Look at the approach changes you need to bring to see that in the actual reality. While we build on the strengths, and you should build on your strengths, you need to address your weaknesses with the focus and a timeline. The timeline is the execution. That timeline is not that sample भेजना है, वो 4 दिन में भेजना, 8 दिन में भेजना, नहीं मालूम. The customer on the other side is making a scorecard on you, saying company A says send me a sample in 7 days turnaround time, the other one is send me in 11 days, who do I place an order with? So who's measuring your turnaround for your fit approvals in your organization? Is anybody even monitoring it? Everybody saying sample भेजना भेज दो. अरे आज पास हो गया buying house में. Is that what you're looking at? Are you talking about leadership? So this is preliminary before I take you on to the reality of what happens in an organization. So therefore, there will be more ideas than capacity to execute. Each one of us in your organizations and you as owners and HODs will have a lot of ideas to generate each day. But the capacity is always this thing. So I always have this board, and this is one of the board I shared with many companies, is saying we all have a daily job to do, even as the owners, and down the line to our watchmen. We all have daily jobs to do, but we have no goals. We have things to do. Diary bhari hui hai, things to do. But what is the goal for the day? Don't know. It's like a football team playing football for 5 hours. They don't have a goal post. So you're playing hard. You've got the skill to play hard, but you don't have the desire to put something into your goal. So where is your goal? So if you do not have your goals, if you don't have your goals, you have an issue. So please start measuring your goals. And the number of goals, so at the daily jobs, I've called it tsunami. काम इतने करने हैं, tsunami हो गया आज का, storm है हमारे दिल में. Sure enough. But the number of goals, if you define your goals, they have to be different from the things to do. Between those things to do, there has to be a goal. So define your goal, but do not make the goal as long as the job list of things to do. If I throw a ball at you, you will catch 1 ball. Yes? But if I throw 10 balls at you, can you catch it? All 10 of them? The answer is no. So in reality, do you have a goal of your organization on a daily, be it productivity, be it wastages, be it efficiencies, be it customer service? Who is measuring it? We are not. We want it, but we are not measuring it. Therefore, please look into this, and if you have lesser goals, you will find that have you achieved your goal, please move on to your next. So, many goals are important, but only 1 or 2 goals are widely important. Your widely important goal today is profitability, sustenance, competitiveness. So if that one goal, just for an example in this theme of presentation, is profitability, if that is your goal, what do you need to do to come to profitability? So I'm going to show you a turnaround journey, and I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying this is wrong. All I'm saying is we followed this principle and we got the results. The results are in the newspaper and the industry is talking about how can such a turnaround take place. I am not privileged to share a lot of sensitive informations and documents which we built as a team. And when I say I, it's my EYE and it's not the I I'm talking about. Because behind me, there are hundreds of we's who's always standing there. So when I talk about an I, it's my I, EYE. So please pardon me if my I sounds like I. It's my I. I observe things differently, but my team worked with me. So let me explain to you, this is the published data, stock market report. Here is a company where the profit was 122 crores loss in 1 year. How many of you can survive a 122 crores loss, by the way, in the apparel industry today? None. The next year they made a loss of 114 crores, and this is the time we got headhunted. What can you do? And this is the result. From a loss of 132 crores to a profit of 60 crores, today is one of the highest profit-making organization, I think, in the apparel industry today. In the same kind of business. What happened? Same workers. So what did we do differently? Same set of clients. Same factories. So this turnaround, if you have a loss of even a single digit, how did we go from here till here? So we said when the Titanic is sinking and has actually sunk, we're going to bring it back. How many of us would like to join an organization like this? It's very easy to sit here and say, but come, go and do it. Half of you will not even apply to that organization to join it. Bankers don't give you money. Employees don't want to work for you. Your clients don't have a trust on you, and so forth. But we said, here is a challenge, and let's take it up. Let's all our talk of so many years come into experience. So what I share with you is very quickly what we did and what you can do in your organizations. So let's say for a moment, forget it is the X organization, think it is your organization we're talking about now and what you should be doing. The external risk factors in our business always has been the following, which is always true. And this will remain, cannot change. There will be competition, there will be market declines, there will be unfavorable legislations, there will be raw material costs, there will be increment of minimum wages, there will be 40% increase of minimum wages, there will be. You know it. But are you smarter? This will happen. Have you planned in your businesses for the next 2 years? Forget about the next 5 years. For the next 2 years, your wage increase in 2019, what are you expecting and what are your expenses and sales going to be? We have not mapped it. We are talking about current today and everything becomes current for us. We don't have that forecast. If I see the Reserve Bank of India's sick unit reports, look at this figure. 52% of the companies which go sick is management failure. 23 is market recession. 14 is faulty planning, which we are used to it. Production में line नहीं निकली, माल नहीं निकला, zip नहीं आए, truck नहीं आया, sample approve नहीं हुआ, button गलत आ गए, धागा जी गलत आ गया. Look at faulty planning. So if you see management and shortage of inputs, and this is very common, 9 and 14 and 52, look at the percentage of management failure we're talking about in managing an organization. It's only 2% which is labor oriented, and we all have presentations and meetings कि आज ही absenteeism है हमारे factory में. मैं कहा जो आदमी आए हैं उसकी तो पहले productivity बता दो, जो नहीं आए उसकी तो बाद में बात करो. That is the reality. So, next. So, this is the fast turnaround, the model we utilized, the cost to profitability. Now, what should you all do? First of all, change. As I heard the first speaker saying, change is a method, change is there, and change will continue. So inspire, change, innovate, and interact. I think this is also one of the theme of the presentations today. So I had done this and I got the theme later on, but it's part of it. This becomes your cycle, right? But the word inspire is so easy. Who do you inspire? What efforts are you doing to inspire your supervisor? What effort are you doing to inspire your mechanic on the machine? नहीं मालूम. Productivity ठीक नहीं है, तो speak to the production manager. Have you given him the tool of the right mechanic to set the machines in the morning correct? He becomes such an important guy to run. If your driver doesn't come, your car doesn't move. But you can't be asking your wife why my car is not moving. So your mechanic is not coming, asking the production manager why the productivity is not coming in. Focus on who is responsible at the grassroots level. And then move forward. So, cost. So one thing is, ask yourself this question: how much does it cost to acquire a customer? How much, what percentage of customers would you lose by giving them less than the expected service levels or experience? Your profitability will later on, I'll come to it. Ask this to yourselves. When every rupee matters, what can you eliminate from your product or services to subtract cost while adding value? This is the most important thing, and this is where you really need to understand yourselves that today every cent matters in our business. Pricing, CM. Today buyers are buying on a CM basis. But if it's that important, what are you looking into it? So is cost a pricing? Is it really pricing a cost? It is not. Is the right team not a cost? The right skill set not a cost? Is right training not a cost? Is SOPs and systems not adding to your cost? Is productivity, efficiency, and so forth, PCD, quality, short shipment, wastage and on time not a cost? They are all cost. So we talk about cost only on pricing, when these area variables make the entire cost of a product. So if you are going to give a pricing, how are you going to manage that cost is the key question. Nothing is sure except the need to recover, sustain and grow in your businesses, no matter how big you are. Nothing matters more than cash and profitability in our business. This is the ultimate goal. If you do not remember, your bankers, your stockholders will remember you're not making money. Attack and resolve with speed issues which impact cash crisis to profitability. Very important. Identify in your businesses which is your cash drainages. Where is cash turning to trash? Owners to the process must make hard decisions, enabling the process to take place. We at times take shy of taking decisions. Your managers shy of taking decisions. If they are shying of taking decisions, the fault is not theirs. The fault is yours because you did not change them. You don't want to take that hard decision. So take that decision. Measurement against plan, resulting course correction is very important. How much do you really execute it on a daily, weekly basis? WIP बन गई फैक्ट्री में, बन गई. 15 आदमी इसमें डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं कि क्या ठीक नहीं है. कौन कह रहा है इसको कब ठीक होगा? Who is asking why is it come to that stage? Now, Sunil, you have to go back. Most of the gain is in the process. So identify your process. We talk on process management. I should show you what it is. And I'll show you certain formulas in the industry which you'll see for the first time, especially if you're owners. You will be doing it, but I'm showing it from a different eye. When we started, I broke down the organization into these are the processes where you'll understand in an organization. Each one of you would be having it. Broke them down into what is my immediate need, what is my business restructuring we need to do, and what is normal for us. In each of these segments, as when you're running an organization, you may be a part of customer engagement, you may be part of the purchase team, you may be doing manufacturing operations, somebody must be in IE, it doesn't matter. Each one of you are married to one of these divisions. So we listed it out, and towards them we said, okay, let's take organization and people as an example. What should you be doing? Should you right size the company? Should you review the middle management? Should you motivate and engage the workforce? Should you have incentive schemes? Review external threats and competition, identify serious threats and immediate threats. So this we said, this is what is required, this is what we need to do immediately, and the red ones, I'm sorry, it's not so clear, I don't know. This is what it is, flatten the organization, account clear accountabilities and measurables. The red ones of the entire map we had made, we said we will execute it now because you cannot execute everything at the same time. Define what you want to execute in each of your departments in your organization, and please spend time towards it, because if you don't, your balance sheet is showing it. Next. This is in manufacturing. In manufacturing, are you analyzing facilities, equipment, ITs and maintenance, merchandising coordination? How is your operation bulletin made? Who makes the operation bulletin? Production manager is not even aware an OB exists in a factory. Agar exists karti bhi hai, it's a piece of paper stuck over there along in the board at the end of the table, and ask him, इसमें पहला operation में कितने piece निकलने चाहिए? The answer is, I don't know, sir. वो आई को मैं पूछता बुलाता हूँ. Look at the misgap between an I and a production manager in a factory, and yet you are saying you should get productivity. Forget about efficiencies. Efficiencies are far more calculation. The secret of productivity, I'll give you for the first time, is if you walk your factories tomorrow morning, your first 8 machines, if they don't produce to your operation bulletin, number of pieces according to the SAM, you cannot produce it in the next 40 machines. Walk your lines tomorrow. Just your 8 machines. This secret I've never told anybody. Who have worked with me closely, they only understand how I ran these factories and increased productivity. First 8 machines is all I want an answer. And when you're on the line, you'll find feeding nahi aayi, cutting room se cutting nahi aayi, dhaga nahi aaya ji. वो पहले वाला जी तो operation ही नहीं हुआ. He has to make 80 pieces. The first productivity is 35% in your factories or 40% in the factories. 32 pieces बनाए हैं, and you are saying वो रात में 500 pieces बनाएगा. Your first 8 machines are not producing, and nobody is monitoring it. At the end of 8 hours, somebody is saying, आज तो खाली 300 pieces बने हैं. क्या बात है? We are in a comfort zone? Should we not monitor it every hour? So what I did was very differently. 23 factories, 28,000 machines. We had 14,000 machines making AQL1. I built a room where I had 8 television screens live. Every hour, productivity from every single line of 23 factories. 240 production lines was on my screen, and I could see it, and I had 3 data analysts sitting there giving me the information, what is happening, thread, material, approvals, SAMs, marketing offices, everybody's failure, I want it on the screen, full stop. We had 8 hotlines over there. We would pick up the phone, speak to the president and say, what the hell is happening in your factory? Why are you not producing? I didn't want the report at the end of the day. It was cost per minute, SAM per minute, production per minute, number of shipments to go, how much is gone, what is balance, what is the productivity for the hour. I could see it in one room. 23 factories, 240 production lines, 14,000 machines. You think it's easy to control? It is easy to control. It's the process you put in to control it. Now we were measuring our performances. And we were putting the course corrective actions. And in first 3 months, things changed. Head rolls. People who couldn't perform, they were sanctioned. Yes, there are genuine problems. And there will be genuine problems. But you ask questions. So, Sunil, change. Now I'm going, so you do take merchandising, go ahead. So if you take these departments, your biggest question is, are key customers' relationship growing or declining? Are you measuring this? Is it because of poor market conditions or poor service? Measurement to the customer scorecard. Keep our eyes on the customer's special needs. Develop, we will do what it takes towards developing the business, address the real issue. This is the last line. Let's not be lulled by a false sense of security. Customer will always be there. They will not be there. You know it. You have experienced it. आपके 2000 में जो customer था 2015 में है, अगर है तो बहुत ही अच्छी बात है. और अगर नहीं है, what happened? If they are moving from A to B, has the customer closed down or he's moved away from yourself? You did not meet his unique needs. You did not engage with them. You did not find out what is wrong. We were so proud of ourselves. Our on-time delivery, sir, is 80%. The customer is saying, hold on, 20% is not delivered. I've got a special space which is lying over there. What will happen? Now, this is a list which you all must do to yourself. That's what we did. What are the critical success factors in our business before we build profitability? And we mapped it, and you'll see the next chart. We mapped it and we said, what are the uniqueness created by the customer? What are they looking for? And every customer is different. So you put your key customers and say, what does he want? Now, if you have a look at this chart, it says product development, product pricing, quantity, on-time delivery, quick response time, shorter lead times, process management, flexibility, chase orders, social compliances, CTPAT is the need of the customer. How are you going to do a low cost position, overall cost leadership? How are you going to build? Have you mapped yourself? Only one answer I get, sir, productivity नहीं हो रही. अरे उसके अलावा भी 8 चीजें हैं, आपने वो मैप किया कि नहीं किया है? वो नहीं करी है. सोर्सिंग नहीं मालूम. अगर फैब्रिक लेट आया है वो चलेगा. मिल में नहीं भेजा आदमी चेक करने के लिए कि फैब्रिक इतने टाइम पे आना चाहिए. परचेज वाला बता रहा है कि सर फैब्रिक इज गोइंग टू बी 1 वीक लेट, और आया सर ये कलर नहीं मैच कर रहा. एंड नाउ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट प्रोडक्टिविटी. कम ऑन, यू आर बीइंग नाइव. You don't have your root level of application of A, you don't have water, but you want to have your medicine. You don't have a syringe to give you injection, but you want the inoculation. So other than productivity, there are so many areas. What is your new processes? Are they improved methods? How did your PPM go? The PPM, how many people attend PPMs? लोगों को बुलाना पड़ता है PPM में आ जाओ. It's an obligation. And you want to make profits. PPM में किसी को नहीं मालूम कि first fit comment कहाँ है? नहीं मालूम. Where does the PPM begin from? From an approved sample. Yes or no? Yes? Yes, sir. A belief from an approved sample. ये sample बनाने के लिए 2 आदमी sampling plant में sample बना रहे हैं. They have made the rectifications. The first fit went, it failed. The second fit went, it failed. The third fit passed. It goes to the PPM, production manager पे PPM कर रहा है, call outs डालेंगे. भैया जो ये आपने 2 आदमी को 3 हफ्ते लग गए ये sample को सही बनाने के लिए, किसके पास इसकी translation है production floor पे? They are away from it. So the PPM does not have a note saying what was the first fit observation, what was the second fit observation. With digital photographs, it should be there so that even the QAs on your line can understand what needs to be done. Make it visual. But it is not there. Now, when you do your PPM, you do not have something called, we only have something called line planning. You may call it in any other words. I said, very good. This is the line planning. So I used to tell my managers, great, where is the finishing planning? Sir, वो बना ही नहीं. तो मैंने कहा, मुझे क्या production plan दिखा रहे हो? ये sewing plan दिखा रहा हूँ. Let's change the word from production to sewing plan. So where is your embroidery plan? Where is your washing plan? Can I see one productivity chart saying ये इस दिन धुलेगा, इस दिन ये कटेगा, इस दिन embroidery होगी? एक चार्ट में, सर हम DPR बनाते हैं. मैंने कहा, that is called defective production report, not daily production report. DPR can give you nothing. You can play around with your DPR. If managers play with your DPR, you think as owners you know it? Forget it. Show me a DPR, I'll come to your factory. You need to have one productivity chart. One chart where you should know, this is my cutting plan, this was my plan, this is my actual, this is my variance. इसके नीचे में आपका होना चाहिए action plan, corrective action plan. उसी के नीचे. वो है ही नहीं. You have to link it in one page. US owners don't have time to see a DPR which is 20 pages long. One style, pick up a page and say, this is what I want. Now cutting नहीं हुई, तो आपकी next production line में, assuming for a moment, your fabric is late. Let's take a general problem. There are challenges 5%. You got a fabric late. Who's replanning the lines? Sir, overtime करेंगे. कितना कर लोगे overtime? Overtime में production निकालोगे. So there is something called a strike rate in production charts, that if you are below this, you need to make a corrective action today itself. And if you all want to meet me afterwards and ask me how it's done, I'll show it to you. It's a very simple tool. But they've stopped their DPR, they started using our system, and today they're 100% on time. We changed it. We didn't tell them. We said, for our orders, we only want this, we don't want your DPR. We don't understand. We are naive. We are uneducated. हमें तो अंगूठा छापा में ये दिखा दो. So they came back after 5 months and they said, our manager are changing all the into productivity charts because now they understand the business. Sure, his business has doubled because his service levels have doubled. I mean, I'm just naming a factory. I should not be naming a factory, but this is what it is. And sure, it's true with all the factories. Well, here it is. Thank you, ma'am. But it was something we did it. So I'm only sharing what we've done. So if you make this in your factories, and what are the, जब आपने ये बना लिया, what is your focus area? What is your goal? Short goal. 15 गोल मत डालो आप. 4 गोल डालो, करना क्या है? और उसकी मेजरमेंट कैसे करोगे? और उसकी एग्जीक्यूशन कब होगा? Make this. So this was made. This was planned. So way forward strategies we built. We said we need leadership in the organization. We must have customers raving fans, and we must have profitability because end of the day, वही हमारा एक मतलब है, मकसद वही है. All express what needs to be done. The challenge is how. Productivity has to improve, quality has to improve, fabric has to come on time, people have to come on time, HR has to work, personnel has to work. What needs to be done? Everybody is passing orders to each other. But how is it to be done? That talk is not discussed. And if you're discussing it, very good. Some of you must be, see, some of you are where you are. So please recognize this and salute yourselves. If that 5% is missing, this is the 5% I'm telling you. So what you need to do and how what. So on way forward, of course, we said focus on product development and the strike rate. If your samples rooms are making samples, who is measuring the strike rate? Who's measuring the fit rates? Who's measuring the fit pass rate? Is somebody having a meeting over? That's your first point of contact to please the customer. आप शोरूम में जाते हो गाड़ी खरीदने के लिए, दरवाजा खोला तो गाड़ी का हैंडल हाथ में आ गया, आप गाड़ी खरीदोगे? जो फिट गल पहुंच गया तो क्या बात कर रहे हो कि बाहर आपको ऑर्डर देगा? Your on time delivery will be met. Your quality will be met. You're being naive. So the concentration on the fit room, which is left to this most intelligent, intellectual Master Ji. So we should hand over factory and profitability to Master Ji. So why are we not changing that process from where you actually build your business? Everybody is on the production line. But pre-production activities, which is 50% of your job to get your profitability, is left in the hands of merchants. A due respect to all the merchants, because they have limitations. A merchant goes to a production manager, कहेगा मैं बाद में भेजता हूँ, दे दूंगा, शाम को अप्लाई कर दूंगा. शाम को बता दोगे? आपको तो 6 दिन पहले बताना था. आज भी शाम को बताओगे? वाह भाई वाह. Not possible. You all agree it's possible? The stores. You go to the bank and get 10 crores of rupees. Excellent. Packing credit ले लिया. 10 करोड़ का फैब्रिक भी खरीद लिया. फैब्रिक में मैनेज कौन कर रहा है? स्टोर कीपर. The CFO or the GM finance is sitting in his air conditioned office. 3 महीने के बाद में बोलेगा साहब इतना माल आपका वेस्ट हो गया है. So I told all the people, hey you vice presidents, all of you, if you want a job in that storeroom, don't tell me what is wrong. I pay you to make sure nothing goes wrong and you will deliver or I will change you. 25,000 आदमी के रुपए के बीच में आपने उसको 50 करोड़ का माल दे दिया और 2 लाख का आदमी को आपने एसी में बैठा दिया. वाह भाई वाह. Change it. Are they not responsible for this material? It is cash. And if you don't do it, cash into trash is your first go. फैब्रिक आ गया, एक्सेस फैब्रिक आ गया, रॉन्ग फैब्रिक आ गया, इसका डेबिट नोट नहीं बना, मिल से आरओसी नहीं हुआ, इसका फ्री फैब्रिक नहीं आया. अब जी हम 90% काटेंगे. जो 4 और फैब्रिक मंगाए थे उसको भी अब 10% वेस्ट कर दोगे. वाह भाई वाह. और ट्रिम्स भी वेस्ट हो गए. पैकेजिंग मटेरियल भी ऑर्डर किया वेस्ट हो गया. जस्ट बिकॉज somebody is not bothering कि मेरा FOC फैब्रिक, I want 100 meters, I want 100 meters mill, I am so sorry. That 10 meters which I want it now. Otherwise, I'm going to debit you for all these things. And so I had a department. In my first 6 months, I debited the market 7 crores of rupees. I want my money. We'll stop business with you. मेरी तो फोटो छप रही है ना न्यूज़पेपर में, आपकी तो बैलेंस शीट आपके पास में है, पर वो करा नहीं. 48 hours में I want these answers, information and the system if you don't have. So this is what you need to do. Focus on all these things. Develop fabrics. Come, just let's go a little faster. Revise, merge divisions, sell for new customers, build costing reports, strengthen IE incentive. This is the way forward. We said this is what we will do. Let's go forward, Sunil. Okay. Now, this is not in any order. This is all what we've done. And you see, sanction non-profits, review profit sharing, focus on raw material planning. I don't want to see production planning. It's useless. फाड़ के फेंक दो. जब तुम्हारा raw material गलत planning हो रहा है, तुम क्या लेके आ गए हो मेरे पास में? Nobody is planning raw material planning. Sir, does anybody know these are my 5 major items? I need to send off my 25 items, and you can't send your people to every mill. Agreed. But 5 major items जो आपके हैं, उसके लिए आपको अगर डाउट है कि अगर ये लेट आएगा, मैं मिल में अपना आदमी भेज के इंस्पेक्शन करा लूं, नहीं यहां पे आएगा माल फेल हो जाएगा, चलेगा. वो 15 दिन हमारे पास कितने पड़े हैं कि वी कैन गो एंड गेट 15 days वेस्टेज, हम फैब्रिक नहीं मंगाएंगे. Hey guys, wake up. One hit. If you want your quality right the first time from your own production people, why are you not asking for quality right first time from your purchase and your inspection teams? They are getting away with murder. Pre-production activities are getting away with murder. So this was, well, we went into, see a customer makes tooling. Tooling for increasing productivity was very important. जब ऑपरेशन बुलेटिन बन के आया, जब मुझे किसी ने ऑपरेशन बुलेटिन दिखाया, मैंने कहा इतनी इंग्लिश तो मुझे समझ नहीं आती, मुझे बताओ बनाओगे क्या इसमें? ये 25 ऑपरेशन में which is the guide you will use, which is the tool you will use, which is the template you will use, which is the profile you will use. Their hands started shaking. I said, are you an IE? Are you an engineer? Or are you an idiot? Between the two, define. Where is the engineering part of it? And how many of you actually spend money to get the tools? Do you know there are so many new machines and technologies and templates and guides which are available in the market that you're not even knowing about it because your IE doesn't know. And how did I get this information? Go to the fair, speak to the machine wala, iska ye tool kaun banata hai, acha iska gauge kaun banata hai, acha ye banata hai. Go to him, ask him what are the new templates you made, what are the new guidelines you have made. हमारी मशीनों पे आप जाओगे, प्रोडक्टिविटी निकालने के लिए डबल टेप लगाया हुआ है एक सिलाई को सीधा मारने के लिए. Is that right? The size of that tape sometimes is so small that even when you have got a 6-inch silai, that tape is incorrectly positioned on your machines and you don't even know about it. And this is IE. All is picking up and saying, sir, ये productivity chart है, मैंने बना दिया. So define between the two. Who is responsible for this? Without tools, can you get? Today you all drive fancy cars. So we should use the same tooling ambassador used to make the Mercedes or the Audi or the BMWs. The market is changing. Your competition is using technology today. You do not want to know about it because you don't know about it. And you think it is an expense account. Believe me, it is an income account. So let's go this. So these are all you'll understand. I'm not going to read each one of them, but I'm going to show you that how it was done. This is more interesting to you. How? Now, all these teams have really to come together if you really want to continue and sustain profitability. Whether it's marketing, whether it's servicing, whether it is pricing, whether it is costing, whether it is QAs, all need to come together and plan execution on a measurable term. Are you measuring it? Are you involved in the key measurements? Are you delegating it? Delegating, you can delegate. Empowerment is required, but not abdication. So in my room when we had those centers, I had the hotlines. I need answer. I can't take my eye from here. I wasn't in the room. There were 6 people in that room managing and giving us production. And that was being circulated across the organization for a meeting in the evening. I want an answer. Tomorrow you're going to cost me money, my friend. I need an answer. How you produce tomorrow and what I've lost yesterday, how are you going to gain it from me tomorrow? तेरी तो सैलरी चल रही है ना सभी की. So, attack and resolve with speed issues which impact cash to trash. Most of us don't even make budgets, and if you are making budgets, good. One of the biggest folly I've seen in the trade, and this was not only in this trade, Icaht, all the trade I've been working for, जब दुनिया बनाती थी budget expense to sales, I challenged this system. I said, what are you saying? Are you think this is correct? We should be making all our expenses to gross income and gross margins. Please go and see your balance sheets again. If you have a budget, and you're doing it to your sales, हर एक sales के हर एक customer के आपका product mix change हो गया, आपकी income change हो गई, आप बोलो मेरा net income इतना है, मेरे expenses to the, now Sunil, you're going too fast for me. This needs to be done. Relook. Say for example, your labor cost is 10 crores. Your turnover is 100 crores. So what is the labor cost to sales? What percentage? 10%. You increase your sale to 150 crores. Your gross margin on 100 crores was 45%. Okay? At 150 crores, you got a new customer, you're penetrating into the customer whose gross margins are at 30%. So your average of 45 is gone to this thing, so your gross margin profit will be come down to say 39%. Now if you see your salary is going to increase, if I say this 10 crores se meri salary 11 crores ho gayi, 11 crores of 150 crores is 10.2%. In profit, my margin has come down, it has gone up to 14%. And nobody realizes this. Because if you eat it away, आपका net profit तो income से आने वाला है ना, आप sales से calculate कर रहे हैं. This is the biggest folly in the industry. Please, if you're doing this way, fantastic. I've yet to see an organization doing it this way. If you're not doing it, go back into this and take an exercise for 3 years. The secret of this is that when you do your percentage of all your expenses, whether it is salary, sales, position, promotion, traveling, tours, etc., when you do it to your gross margin, remember one thing you need to correct. If your salary is 10%, say this was to the gross margin for your thing, next year it cannot, in absolute term it will increase, but it cannot be 10%, it should be less than 10%, which is at 9% of your gross margin, if this was 10%. If you do not reduce this by 1% each year, your bottom line of 8% or 5% or 4%, how will it go up? You explain. Anybody, I would like any owner to talk to me on this subject matter at any time. You can't. So the secret is reduce your expenses in percentage to gross margin by 10% every year in your sheets. And if you do this, you will see where the reality is. And you can take a course corrective action. So now, Sunil, after that, this is the slide or what was it before? All right. Huh? Now, this is something we introduced was the floor cost. I don't know if you understand what a floor cost is. I'll explain to you this what we did. Floor cost is different from production cost. एक नारा बनाया था 17 + 13 7 रहेगा तेरा. 17 + 13 7 रहेगा तेरा. That was a song we made, Sudhir and myself. 17 + 13 is equal to 30. 17 + 13. अगर हम 30% में सारा काम कर लेंगे ना, तो हमारा 7 तेरे साथ रहेगा. नहीं तो हम जेब से ही पैसे भर रहे होंगे. If that's, I will show you the 17%, and that is what I'm going to share with you to profitability, that chart, which is so important for you to understand. There is no question of asking right or wrong. This is the way we did it. You like it, take it. You don't like it, lump it. Doesn't matter. This is the chart. Many years ago, I built this chart. If 45% is the gross margin, and I forget the CM. All your conversion, YYs and fabric costings and trim costings, take out your gross margin. If, let's say, assuming your gross margin, you're getting at 45%, your floor cost should not be more than 12%. This is the formula I'm sharing with you really for the first time. Your manufacturing expenses, direct expenses, should not be more than 5%, which means your generators in the factory. Floor cost is all the employees connected with the floor for producing their goods at an X value. 5% should be your overhead cost of that factory. That is 17% should be your cost of that factory. 17%. अगर 45% आपका ग्रॉस मार्जिन है, कम है तो उसे कम कर लीजिए, ज्यादा है तो आप उसको एडजस्ट कर लीजिए. योर फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड्स डायरेक्ट 4%, टोटल फैक्ट्री कॉस्ट 21% ऑफ योर सेल्स के ऊपर नहीं होना चाहिए. If you are more than it, you need to know where you can make a correction. You're making the bottom. If you want to improve your profits, you can continue with 30% also. So if you see this, and this is really how it was working for us, you want to put your marketing cost over here, you can change your attributes, but the fact remains कि 17 plus 13, 7 रहेगा 13, हमें तो 10% नीचे चाहिए ही चाहिए. Otherwise, you show me how do you get your 10%. You're doing an accounting after the balance sheets are made, or are you planning the balance sheet? So, if that being true, we then said, what is important in our business? Product development, quality consistency, process management, and on-time delivery. हमने हर एक के पीछे में we put a category that on-time delivery में हमें क्या करना है, product design and development में क्या करना है, quality में क्या करना है, and process management, and where are we? This is what we want, ideal. But where are we? So when we press the next button, we saw we are in the red in all the areas. As it is, our balance sheet was red, no? So we couldn't be in green anyway. But what a chance. What a beautiful opportunity. How many people get an opportunity like this to turn around organizations? So now just go back, Sunil. So when we did this, I said, let's take one. Just to show you as an example, we took quality. And we said, this is the measurements going to be. First time pass rate to be 99%. Cut to ship should be 1%. What is the current cut to ship quota value? The quality execution will be AQL1. We started producing AQL1 in 14,000 machines, 260 production lines. Unheard in Delhi at all. If I ask you for one line AQL, you have resistance. Cost leadership. When you go to cost leadership, you will see we broke it down into productivity, efficiency, PCD, and waste management. These are cost. When we saw that, we said, wow, great area to improve. And therefore, again, you segment it and you make it the way you would like to make it. Then we build up what is delivering delight. Now, this is the map which looks like very corporate. It is not. Everybody of you have the capacity to build it. आप 1 घंटा लगाओगे, आप बना लोगे. There is nothing which I am building. Anybody want interaction? Take my number, give me a call, I'll help you. Free of cost. Now what we did, what is the customer's expectation? PD, pricing, OTD, quality, fit, process, sheet times, compliance, quality of communication. What is our thing? Margin, fit, QMS, and communication. What is the scorecard? OTD 100%. Fit minimum 90%. First fit must pass the first time at 90%. We were at 35%. Profit, productivity क्या होनी चाहिए, efficiency क्या होगी, cut to ship क्या होगा, and what is the strategy? Retention, grow by 30% and new categories. The strategy map, develop fabrics by June, design PD, process management by May, fits by quarter, productivity immediately, fabric utilization immediately, waste management immediately, and communication with solutions. When you send your communications internally or to your client, I've always seen emails of people actually sit on the machine and say, fine, I would like to see a trail of your communication you've sent to the merchants, and I go and read it. Are you sending a communication with no solution? What the hell are you talking about? If you're the buyer on the other hand, would you like it? Sir, revert tomorrow. Tomorrow. So what is difficult you can't do today? You're not the factory owner. You don't have a team in the factory. You're so inefficient you can't get an answer today. Your mills are so inefficient you can't have a control on them. And 3 days nobody's reverted. No solutions are provided internally. Sir, हमने आपको CC मार्क कर दिया था. मैं तो उसमें आप न्यूक्लियर भी लिख दो साथ में, वो भी मार्क हो जाएगा. It's how you want to see it. Can we not? We have a customer. I learned one thing from there. They said any courier packages is in Europe. Any courier packet comes into your office, Ranjiv, in 3 hours, we need to return back with acknowledgement and complete communication to the person who sent the courier package from the next country. हमारे यहाँ तो courier आएगा 10 बजे, तो आप लोग को मालूम ही नहीं होता कि 6 बजे तक courier कहाँ पे है, वो घूम रहा है. मैडम आपका courier आ गया, सर आपका courier आ गया, अरे चाय पी रहा हूँ बाद में आऊँगा. 3 hours they have to give. That's their goal, measurable goal. What a small thing. But isn't it building efficiency? Now, fabric utilization in the industry people don't see. We talk on fabric consumption. Why? That is consumption, is not utilization. So I bought in a terminology, what is utilization? I changed the purchase order norms. The biggest problem we have in the industry is purchase orders in the mills, say plus minus 10%, plus minus 5%. Yes? True? If it is plus minus 5%, you're buying 5 fabrics. You've ordered 1,000 meters, or let's say easier, 100 meters. You've 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. इसमें आपने plus 5 मंगा दिया, इसमें minus 5 मंगा दिया. इसमें 105 आ गया, इसमें 95 आ गया. तो बाकी अगर आपके सारे वेरिएशन आए, तो what will you cut? The least denominator, 95. So balance क्या हुआ? वो बैंक को दे दो पैसा वापस, कैश ले आ जाएगा. Cash to trash. You created in the room itself. मास्टर जी कितना कटा? Hey, why have you gone to the cutting room? As a merchant and the purchase team, you have got the fabric. You give me an answer. Why cannot you cut 102%? You have to answer me this question. Everybody is asking the cutting room, जी कितना कट गया जी? माल पास है कि फेल है, फैब्रिक है, ये भी नहीं मालूम. वो कटिंग रूम वाले बताएंगे जी 10% इंस्पेक्शन करी थी, पर सर 25% रिजेक्शन निकल गया. This cash to trash you're creating in your management styles. So when you change utilization, introduced ER system means in 48 hours, the mill had to give us a replacement fabric or accept our debit notes. I wanted an internal report in 48 hours. Evaluation of the mills, introduced utilization sheets. So now we have to cut so much of fabric has come in, so much has been inspected. This is the actual YY. This is what we'll be cutting. These are the 5 multiple fabrics. We will be cutting 102%. And my wastage will be only so much. Wastage was known at this stage. They had to give us this report. Cash to trash. यहीं पे. अभी तो हम फैक्ट्री के अंदर ही नहीं गए. आप लोग एब्सेंटिज्म, एफिशिएंसी, प्रोडक्टिविटी की बात करते हो. यहाँ पे 100 करोड़ का आपने मतलब वहीं पे 10 करोड़ खा गए. क्या बात कर रहे हो आप लोग? ट्रिम रूम में चले जाओ. वाह 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 वाह. सही माल कौन सा सर ये नहीं मालूम, पर हमारा जंकयार्ड इतना बड़ा है. Cash to trash. And we enjoy it. We let it go. Because they are not paying for it. So when you do it, don't waste it. We said, this is the waste management, and you can see in your factories, this will be a very common side. Please don't waste it. Put a focus onto this. This is profitability. This is something you didn't waste. You don't have to do anything. You only have to manage it well. Next. So we built a cut to ship. This was one of my topics, I think, in 2010 also. A cut to ship. If you see the cut to ship, this is we build and we were looking into focus on order to cut, order to ship, cut to ship, reduce garment wastages. If any garment was less in the fabric, I want 100% recovery. मरा या जिंदा मुझे अगर फैब्रिक जो गारमेंट नहीं गया, मुझे वो गिन के मेरे हाथ में चाहिए. मेरे पीसेस गिनते थे. ये तो गारमेंट चोरी हो गए, 6 पैंटें चोरी हो गई, 2% चोरी हो गया. Did you realize in an organization where I was running, what did 1% mean? When I came, I left the turnover 1100 crores. Do you know what 1% means? 10 crores. 1% कितना कम लगता है? 10 करोड़. और आपका वेस्टेज वो 5% हो जाए, 50 करोड़. वाह भाई वाह. Yes. So where do you get your profitability? So think profit. Look into that. Think profit. Look, this is focus on productivity. This is what we did. And we sent, now productivity and efficiency are 2 different measurements. People mistake it in North India a lot. Productivity is directly to OP. Efficiency is to the SAMs a minute, available minute, manpower available divided by that, and that is efficiencies. So concentrate on productivity is far easier to do it. This is what we created, a customer delight map. Having created the customer delight map, this is what we said we will be doing. Then we came down. Change, Sunil. Now this is the dashboard which I'm going to share with you. Actually, why should I share it with you? That's it. At least call me for dinner. Right? Because I think the Make in India, that's the Prime Minister's vision. You all are making us proud. We are part of it. And if I can help in any which way to this small mission, because you are making it in India, and for your sustenance, I'm going to share this profitability. Our market values today are only based on our knowledge and what we deliver. So I made a dashboard very cleverly, and you can make this dashboard. And therefore, I'm not given it for printing to Ogtc, this presentation. And I said, sorry, I can't give it to you because there are a lot of inside informations. So I'm just sharing with you. We did product development. The strike rate should be minimum 70%. File transfer, handover to production should be at 95%. Plan cut date, 95%. Warehouse, the fabric should not be more than 5 days. Inventory cannot be more than 15 to 30 days. So for efficiencies, factory cost, AQLs, PO actual costing, when should we get the actual cost of the PO? Within 15 days of the entire shipment leaving, we had profit and loss statement on our tables, PO-wise, customer-wise, category-wise, client-wise, country-wise, region-wise, factory-wise. This is the dashboard. Sunil, go back to the dashboard, please. You're going too fast. Yeah, thank you. He just warned me half an hour is over. I have still half an hour left, so I'm okay on time. So if you see PO style, actual costing, wastage targets, what we were to, order to cut has to be so much, order to ship has to be so much, cut to ship has to be so much, wastage value compared to the previous year, both in terms value and surplus recovery minimum 90%, gross margin factory-wise, production-wise, customer-wise, on-time delivery minimum, orders cancelled with liability, without liability, what is the reasons, claims, CSR was part of the plan. Mill evaluation was important, inventory control was important, and our return goods to the vendor, fabric, trims, fabric, I want the debit notes. These were all important. Anyone if you disagree? How many you have a dashboard? You will have ideas. Sure, you run your company, so there's nothing. All I put it, your knowledge, which you already have, into one frame. You can change the numbers whichever way you want. So this is the dashboard towards profitability. So therefore, from 132 crores loss to 60 crores profitability is a turnaround. I think so. I think 60 crores is not a bad profit. But the fact is, 132 crores, the same team. We salute all these people. Now what we did, this is just to share one of the slides. On quality we had principles, design lean value systems, make lean value stream, make visual. Now this is very important, I'm sharing make flow visuals. SOPs are so written in like Shakespeare English. जिसने लिखी वो तो चला गया, जो पढ़ता नहीं है वो फैक्ट्री में बैठा है, वो स्टोर में बैठा है, उसको आप फ्लो चार्ट में बनाओ, मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ. See the next slide, this is what we did. I wrote this manual myself with my team. This is, we created that manual, and this is the flow chart. Every operation, if you see, was only by a flow chart which we gave. Operation by flow chart. Or right and left side mein, Sunil was one of the gentlemen for the QMS systems who were managing them. I had 5 people in this thing. What did they do? They would walk into a factory, they're a manager. They'll walk into the pre-production area, cutting, through sewing is one, and from finishing to packing was one. They will walk, they had these flow charts. They will pick up a style number, put it over there, and go into the stores. Fabric inspection, fabric this thing, rectification, pass report, return to goods, utilization sheet, karke. Red and green pens they were only allowed to use. In less than 2 hours, they had this report. I was there with the head of engineering, head of QMS, i.e., head of QMS, and head of quality. They walked with me every day. 3 factories a day we used to walk every day. Only we had these reports. We would walk in, see the style, come out and sit on the table, call 5 people involved, the key people, quality manager, production manager, store manager, IE, etc. into our table and say, these are our observations, why do you have them? You didn't understand in English yesterday? Can I see its improvement day after? Do I see it in the same style again? And if I do see it, I don't need you. And if I see it, I will award you. So we worked it. But they were hard decisions in 48 hours. We didn't have a luxury of time. Our balance sheets were being printed in 3 months' time. But the team was fantastic. The labor was fantastic. All employees were fantastic. Of course, some people didn't work. But so is true in all organizations. So CSR is a big issue. So we wrote a manual on CSR. We put the 3 pillars: compassion, commitment, and consciousness. We built the 3 pillars of success over here. We also did this. So everything was important. The next, what is this, Sunil? Anything? Okay, that's it. So I'm going to finish in half an hour. Thank you, Chairman.